If you have missing files in Serato DJ Pro, you can easily find them again with the Relocate Lost File feature. Basically, Serato says your file is missing if you have moved the track in the background without telling Serato. So it's looking in one location for it and it's no longer in there. What you can do is drag the folder where you know those tracks are onto the Relocate Lost File button. It will scan that folder for those missing tracks. If it finds it, it will update the location of Serato and it will no longer be orange. To see more of your DJ library in Serato DJ Pro, just press the spacebar. You can use the Files tab to move tracks in Serato DJ Pro. So say for example, you just downloaded a track in your Downloads folder, then you've dragged it into Serato. Serato now has the location of this track in your Downloads folder. But if you're like me and have a main music folder on your laptop with all your genres and all your tracks, you're gonna wanna move this file out of the Downloads folder and into these folders. And you can do that within Serato. So what you can do is open up the Files tab, go to your main music folder. What we're gonna do is move this track into the R&B folder. So what we're gonna do is pick up this track and drag it over the R&B folder, and it will ask you if you wanna copy it or move it. What we're gonna do is move it. Now you can see that the location of this track is now in my main music folder in my R&B folder. If you have a bunch of missing files in Serato DJ Pro that you don't care about, what you can do is order the tracks by missing file, have all the orange tracks grouped together, highlight them all, and then press delete, and this will remove all the missing files from Serato. Beat jump is the most underrated feature in Serato DJ Pro. To enable this feature, head over to settings and then click show beat jump controls. Then when you come back to the main screen, you'll see this window appear. Now this will allow you to jump a certain number of beats in the track. So the way I have it set up is that it jumps 16 beats. So if I press this button here, it will jump 16 beats forward. If I press this button here, it will jump 16 beats backwards. Use subcrates to organize your music. If you've got a hip hop folder, you can create subcrates with inside it. So you can create a subcrate called new school hip hop, old school hip hop, instrumentals, and acapellas. You can set up custom columned crates in Serato DJ Pro. To enable this, you need to go to settings and then check custom column crates. So we're gonna create 3 crates: hip hop BPM, hip hop key, and hip hop order. In the BPM crate, we're gonna order it by BPM. In the key crate, we're gonna order it by key. And in the number order crate, we're gonna order it by number. Now when we go into each of these crates, the columns will stay as they should be. Whereas if you don't have this setting checked, whatever changes you make in one crate, it will be applied to all your crates in Serato DJ Pro. If you accidentally load a track onto either deck 1 or deck 2, you can press Command and Z, and what this will do is undo the track that you just loaded, and it will put back the track where it should have still been playing. Make sure you embed this shortcut into your head, because I guarantee every single DJ is going to need to know this going forward. Using Command and left and right on your keyboard will load your selected track onto either deck 1 or deck 2. If you're recording a mix in Serato DJ Pro and Serato either crashes or you forget to save it, what you can do is head over to your Serato folder on your laptop, go to recording temp, and the recorded file will be sat in there. Pressing Command P will move your selected track into your prepared crate. If you've got 2 tracks loaded on either deck 1 or deck 2 and you're scrolling through your library, if you press Command L, Serato will jump back to the track that's currently on deck 1. And if you press Command L again, it will jump back to the track that's currently on deck 2. Use colors in Serato DJ Pro to help you out with music organization. If you press Command F on your keyboard, it will jump straight to the search box so you can start typing for your next track. If you're within Serato DJ Pro and you have a track selected like this, if you press Command and R, it will open up the Finder window to the location of where that file is. If you want to share a crate with your friend, what you can do is create a folder on your desktop named the same name as the crate in Serato DJ Pro. For this example, it's going to be hip hop. Then what you can do is highlight all the tracks and then drag all those tracks into the folder that's on your desktop, and these tracks will now be copied over to that folder. You haven't got to worry about anything in Serato moving because these tracks are being copied to that folder, not moved. Pressing Command, Shift and Delete will not only delete the track out of your crate, but it will actually delete the track from your computer and move it into a trash bin. Use the comment section in Serato as much as you can. Use this section to describe your tracks. I use this column to tag what type of track it is, so it could be a warm-up track, a main set track, or a warm-down track. Utilize all the unused columns in Serato DJ Pro. I use the following columns: remixer, grouping, and composer. Lowering your USB buffer size will allow Serato to react better to your DJ equipment, but make sure you have a powerful enough computer before you do this. If your computer isn't powerful enough and you lower it too much, it could cause audio dropouts. You can't create a smart crate for colors, but there's a small hack around it. So say for example, you've color coded all your tracks, you can use one of the unused columns in Serato DJ Pro to write in the color. So say for example, you've got a bunch of red tracks, you can go to the remixer column and you can type red for all these tracks. Then you can go create a smart crate and set the rule as remixer equals red. Now you have a smart crate for your colored tracks. Click this music note to turn on master tempo. If you don't have this music turned on, when you speed up the tempo, it's gonna sound like the chipmunks are singing your track. You can create loops in Serato, save them, and you can also lock them so they don't get deleted. When you've just finished DJing a gig, one tip I'll give to you is go to the history in Serato DJ Pro and take all the tracks and then put it into a crate named the venue that you just played at and the date. So say for example, you play at that venue again and you get stuck, you can always go into this crate and play from there if you need a little bit of guidance. If you're triggering your samples and they're not working, make sure that this M is selected and the volume is turned all the way up. If you're DJing outdoors in the daylight, you can switch on Serato Day Mode, which will change the color of Serato so you can see it a lot clearer. Use the volume bar here to adjust the volume of all your samples. Too many times I've heard DJs play and their sirens and their glass smashes are way too loud. By the way, if you want 163 sound effects, check the link in the description down below. You can set a cue point in your samples and then select play from cue point 1. This will make sure that your sample plays at the correct point every single time. You can actually have up to 32 samples in Serato DJ Pro. All you need to do is just change the bank and select the one you want, then you can use the samples which are within that selected bank. When analyzing your tracks, you can set a range. So if you're like me and have your hip hop tracks at 60 BPM instead of 120 BPM, you can set the range to 58 to 115. So when you scan your hip hop tracks, the BPM will come in the 60s instead of 120. To analyze just a few tracks in Serato DJ Pro, highlight the tracks that you want and then drag it over the Analyze Tracks button. Enabling high-res display in Serato DJ Pro will make your Serato look so much better. To remove the streaming services from your crate section, head over to your settings, go to here, and then untick Show Streaming Services. Turning on EQ colored waveforms will change the color of the waveform when you're changing your lows, mids, and highs. Now that you've watched this video, check this video out here to see the top settings in Serato DJ Pro. I'll catch you in the next one.